Henshin time.
What show is this? It's
Henshin Hangout. Henshin Hangout. Woo!
And we're back, and we have all three of us here today.
Oh, the Henshin Bros. The Henshin Bros are here. Let's do it.
It took like, what, 3 months for that to happen?
Oh my gosh, our schedules have been so busy.
I know. But we're back and for a very important episode.
Very
important episode.
It's not sad now, but it was sad last week. We had that whole death. A few deaths. We had 2 deaths. I wasn't expecting 2 deaths.
Which we all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
Low-key, that was the reason why I wasn't here.
Really?
I had to go to Palm Springs Comic-Con, but after losing Greece, it was just...
I just
needed time.
You needed the time.
I needed time. I needed to grieve. I had to go travel the countryside. Ate a lot of potatoes.
Oh, how was the potatoes?
Potatoes were good. Potatoes were good.
That's
Potatoes
good.
were good. I don't know how you farmed them all the time, but I just needed time to recover. But I'm ready now. I'm ready to talk about this.
We're back.
I'm ready to talk about this.
Ready?
So did you? So we are here. I mean, if you guys know, we're here. We review Kamen Rider Build, or next week Kamen Rider Zio. And of course,
we got our first super chat.
Super chat.
Thank you, Shin.
Woo!
Hang out live.
What's up, Shin?
Actually, where are you from? Tell us where you're from, so we can figure out the whole time zone thing. But did you guys watch these episodes this week?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Dude. Like, I gotta admit, because we were trying to figure out when Build was going to end, and for a while there, we thought the last episode of Build was going to air while I was at Palm Springs Comic-Con, and I was literally so bummed. Like, you should have saw that I was blinking, just like, Jezzer, can we all go to Palm Springs? Just like, no. Jezzer, can you fly me back from Palm Springs? No. Can we Skype it? Maybe. But then when I found out we had one episode to go, I was so happy I could be here with you guys and discuss this.
No, I'm
it's
glad
actually
to have
perfect.
you here.
It's actually perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah, I agree. But we have another thing going on with concerning the last episode of the show, because what's that in the bag?
So, you might remember that there was a little bet placed. The bet placed was that so me and Jezzer had a bet way back when about Grease and Grease getting an upgrade. And so Jezzer was like, Grease does not get an upgrade. No, he's definitely not going to get a upgrade. Not this late in the show. And I was like, you know what? I have faith. My man Grease is that awesome that I think he will get an upgrade. And literally, the third to last episode, my man's finally got his upgrade.
To be fair, though, either way, if either one of us lost, we were still going to eat the wings. There was no, like, optional, like...
what do you mean we? No, we bet the loser has to eat the hot wings.
I thought we were all eating the wings
No,
together.
Jezzer!
Oh,
no, Jezzer!
So
you are eating the hot wings.
Oh, my God.
Cookie Face is getting burned tonight.
So, I went by a little spot, a little wing place, and I asked them, okay, what's your hottest wing? And they're like, oh, well, it's this thing called Wingferno. And I was like, okay, so... Wingferno? And I was like, okay, so on a scale of... So how hot is it? It was like, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's an 11. And 11, they were like, technically, I know you're getting this to go, but technically you have to sign a waiver before you eat this.
No, you're exaggerating a little bit. They
have a waiver.
They turned these wings up to 11.
I forged your name, by the way. I mean, I'm not eating them, so I was like, Jezzer Reyes.
Oh my gosh.
Cookie Face.
By the way, Shin, the Masked Rider, you're, was that? I stay in the... The GA? I'm an idiot right now. What's that?
Wait, what happened?
What state's the GA?
Georgia.
Thank you.
Georgia. Atlanta,
and Jared
Georgia.
is from Knoxville.
Tennessee. Nice, down south.
I like how.
Oh, Kevin's from the Philippines.
Oh, another one. Super chat from Battlestar Galactica. Woo! Eat them wings, Jezzer. Call him Tomato Face when he turns red. I'm going to turn red. I don't know if you had watched one of the hashtag After Darks. I don't do spicy that well.
Me neither, Jezzer.
Like
so when I made this bet, I was so scared. But my man Grease came through at the last moment because he knew he had to save my life.
Well, let's save.
Thank you, Grease, wherever you are.
Let's save Kamen Rider Build towards the end, since this is it was the finale.
It's the big one to talk about.
We want to end on a high note, definitely. I mean, especially with this episode of Lupat.
Now, I mean, here's the funny thing.
So we're starting with Lupat?
We always start with Lupat.
Okay, I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes.
I'll start with Lupat.
Sit down.
First off, we got tricked.
Oh, Nathan's from Houston, Texas.
Oh, nice.
Wow, we have a nice little national audience.
We got tricked with this episode of Lupat.
Oh, I know why you mean by it. We
got tricked.
You want to know why we all felt like this is what happens every time, no matter what show and what country you sit through. And when you start watching the show, it's like it's a new episode. Let's see how we roll with this. And then
It was so action. Oh, we got another one.
Another one. The Kamen Rider Zia opening song, though.
It's officially released. We'll get to that.
I haven't heard that. I've heard. Is it good?
I haven't. Actually, I'm gonna wait till I actually watch the show. I'm kind of a traditionalist that way.
Okay.
But I will say, going back to my point with, like, no matter what show you watch, hey, like, new episode of any show, you're always like, all right, here's the time for no. No. It's a clip show!
It's a clip show! I hate clip shows.
And I was so upset because as I was watching it, I was like, okay, we got the gangs. And I was really surprised, like, oh, is that the female gangster who usually, like, just, makes them go big? She's out there fighting right now. No. And she was just smacking them around. They were attacking, she's like, smack.
We didn't even get...
Smack. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then we had one of the patrolmen with a safe on his head. I was like, who's that guy? Yeah. Why does the safe still have a little, like, beret? This is so cool. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, wait, memories. Wait. Photographs. Yep. Wait, let's get it back. Clip show.
Yeah.
Clip show.
Now, I will say this. I've seen my fair share of clip shows of Sentai writing.
And Power Rangers does it too. A bunch of different shows do it.
Listen, I get it.
VR Troopers.
Simpsons.
Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters from Beverly Hills.
What are you talking about?
How did they do a clip show for one season?
It was a clip show.
Fair enough. But
Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
I don't. Cyber Squad. Dang, Lawrence. Was it Matthew Lawrence?
It's Matthew Lawrence, yeah.
Exactly.
But the thing
and then Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Now, clip shows is actually so infamous in Sentai lore that there was a period where it just, like, every Sentai fan knew, like, oh, it's a clip show.
Yeah.
They all felt it. And that's a thing that they don't do as much as they used to, but don't get me wrong, when they do, we all react the same dang way.
We're like midway through the series, right?
Yeah.
So this is a good time to...
Sense.
It makes sense to recap it.
Go ahead, Jezzer, I'm sorry.
To recap the show, it makes sense.
And honestly, I didn't hate this recap show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up. This is actually an alright recap clip show.
It is, because...
Yeah, it goes. It
does.
It flows.
And honestly, for me personally, because you guys, like, as everyone knows, as we've been watching this series. Oh, thank Jared. As we've been watching this series, like, over the term, like, towards the last, like, 5, 6, 15, 30 episodes. Anyway, I haven't been feeling so hot about the series.
Okay,
but the thing about this, though, is that as I started watching this clip show, it just kind of reminded me of all the love and why I was really feeling it, why I was so on board for this series, why I was so excited for it. And so it kind of brought all that magic for me back.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and I think that's, and I feel like part of the thing is, like, when you do a clip show, like, okay, if you gotta do, I feel like sometimes it's just mandated. You gotta have to do it.
You have to.
So I feel like, listen, me and Johnny just did an whole episode about how much we loved Keiichiro. Me personally, I don't know how you feel about it. Keiichiro had kind of one of my least favorite clip shows.
Remind me, what was the clip show for Keiichiro?
Ninja in America, came back and they had basically explained everything about Keiichiro to Ninja Man. It's like it's near the end of the show.
Ninja Man.
And it's alright.
I kind of like that show.
You like that episode?
Yeah, because honestly, the reason why is because towards the end of it, that when they all go into battle, and again, remember, like, I haven't seen that Sentai series, so when they're all running into battle, they actually, like, there's a thing where they're all ninjas running at night through the field and everything like that. And I was like, oh my god, is there ninjas? And Ninja was like going to work on people, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. I like it for a different reason.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that makes sense because the American adaptation was so far.
And honestly, and that kind of gets me sad about, again, that Megaforce series. Again, because the fact they could have brought back some of all those old people. We could have brought back Ninjor back to the American episode. We could have brought back what was the Space Cop's name from Turbo?
Blue Centurion.
Blue Centurion. We could have got the Blue Centurion back. It's like we could have brought back all these people. So, but again, getting back to this clip episode, like, it was kind of cool because the gangler hits him in the head. All these memories fly up, and then all of a sudden they have to start talking about trying to figure out how they're going to get the Red Power Rangers memories back.
I did like the representation of his memories through photographs.
That's actually kind of a neat way of doing it.
I enjoyed that very much because
it's a good visual too.
Like, they were kind of pinpointing how many memories he was missing. They're like, oh, this doesn't seem like a lot. There's a lot of missing pieces in this.
What I thought was really cool about this concept of doing a clip show like this is that it does give a little bit of stakes to the Pat Rangers and the fact that, like, if Keiichiro doesn't remember everything,
he's their leader.
So it's like, this is one of the things where it's like Noel does the cool scene where he talks to the Lupinrangers. And basically go like,
it's okay, this is important.
What you guys, I think, because there's a bit earlier where, like, Keiichiro's looking at all the photos, he's not remembering anything. He has no clue what's going on. I'm like, I don't remember. I remember Tsukasa, I remember some things, but I don't remember everything. But then he looks at these pictures of the loop pad, he's like, Something about these guys. Lupinrangers, my bad. The Lupinrangers, like something about it in the belly. Something about it just bugs me. And Noel's like, that of course. So he goes to the Lupinrangers and being like, hey, I got a feeling that maybe you guys are the key to unlocking
his memories.
And they're like, why would we do that? This actually benefits us.
Yeah, and they give a good reason too, because like the police always are in danger of destroying the collection pieces which they need to collect, and it's like, okay, that does make sense. But you know, okay, so my apologies, I'm gonna be a little bit critical here.
That's right.
Okay,
that's fine.
So a couple things that kind of like stood out to me. Like number one, as we were watching this clip episode and everything like that, like one, it just kind of made me realize the overall tone for the series, because up until this point, had this been like one of the other shows, usually the clip episode is like, well, this is our main goal, and these are things that we've been doing to get to our goal, but these are the mysteries we're trying to figure out or whatnot. Right. But as we were watching this, I was like, I just realized, like, part of the reason why I may not be enjoying this series as much is because I keep watching Build going into this, and Build has all these layers of mysteries and whatnot, and this entire series does not really. No. There's only one goal, is to pretty much get their families back, stop the ganglers and everything like that, but there's nothing they're trying to figure out. They're not trying to figure out who the boss is. They're not trying to like figure out like why they're doing all these activities. But at the same time, though, I get disappointed because I'm like, well, maybe you guys should be doing some of that. And then also with the clip show, again, Jezzer, you tell me how you felt about this. Like when they were doing the flashbacks and whatnot, they were like, especially with the Lupinrangers, like, you guys remember you teamed up just recently with the Patranger and you had this big battle. I was like, guys, that's cool, but why don't you guys do that flashback to that hospital scene? Where they were watching in the hospital when like Lupin Red was watching Patranger Red fighting the Kamen Rider. I was like, why don't you do that?
That's a strong.
That is one episode they missed out on.
Exactly.
That's a good point, because that was one of the turning points between these Rangers where mutual respect was seen between each of them.
And then there was also the episode where the Patrangers were fighting against that one criminal, and remember like when they got the drill or something like that, it looked like they had almost died. He got all through his injuries, and they still fought the injuries to protect people.
Right.
So as we were watching this clip show, again, the clip show for me kind of encompasses like kind of the overall theme of the series. Like we'll do some emotional stuff here and there, but we kind of look at ourselves as the fun show. We're not trying to go too deep here.
No, and I think that's kind of the deal with this show. It's like part of the things that for me, it's like with Sentai generally leans lighter, generally leans younger. It's always been the case. And because of that does mean
$2
super chat.
Oh, my bad, Shin. I forgot about the Missing Knights of Trinidad. Oh my gosh.
I actually like that show.
It's old school nice.
I did like that
the
show.
Mystic Knights.
The Mystic Knights.
Oh
my god.
Well done.
That should be on Netflix. Why isn't that on Netflix?
That's a good question. Why isn't that on Netflix?
That should be on Netflix.
I think that and like Masked Rider are the only Saban era shows that are not on Netflix.
VR Troopers is there.
Yeah, Beetleborgs is on there.
Both Beetleborgs, I think.
We are VR.
Yeah. So going back, that is true. They did miss out on a lot of episodes in this clip show that could have been crucial to the story.
Yeah.
That could have made kind of like gave you a deeper connection with these characters.
Exactly.
I think for me and it's because of my general dislike of clip shows. I'm a little more like, part of me is like, while I'm watching, it's like, well, at least the narrative is not like not too loose for me to not be that invested in it.
Yeah.
And I overall had a little fun with it, but I think you guys were on point though with like bringing up like, there are probably more emotional beats that they could have referred back to, but then like that also makes the question: is it because they are asked to just push the more toyetic stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of maybe.
Yeah, definitely that it made sense that they did it for the toy reason. But for these clip shows? Is it for like scheduling? Is there like, oh, we don't have to shoot so many scenes with these characters, we can cut the day in half, or maybe even shoot another episode on the same day?
See, sometimes for me, clip shows make sense. For example, Build, when we got our clip show on Build, it made total sense. Yeah. We had so many different mysteries and different things like that going on that we need to be brought up. Okay, this character did this character did this, this reason we did this. So there was like all these moves we need to explain. So it was like, okay, I'm back caught up. Now I kind of remember everything. And Keiichiro, they encountered so many different people and learned so many different lessons from week to week, because each week they learned how to be a team. They learned the importance of high school, they learned the importance of like this team member, blah, blah, blah. So it kind of was like a nice recap right there. Yeah. With this series, as we did this recap, I mean, it was fun, and it was kind of cool to go back and see a couple of different things and whatnot. But again, it wasn't just like very crucial. And then some parts got like a little bit lazy. Again, like that whole the Goody clip part. And then where it's like, and I'm Goody, and Goody does this, and yeah, the muscle stride, but then sometimes I get big and I get Goody, and I'm like, why? This is like 5 extra minutes. Why?
I wanna call to Hasbro. Could Johnny please be the voice? The voice of Goody? That was pretty good.
I would not mind. I would not mind.
I was like, that sounds great. I want him to talk like that every week. Actually, and there's a joke to that too, where he kind of is like, he doesn't need the memory anymore. His memories are back. There's no reason for him to do it. And so Goody is like, I still want to listen. Y'all get to do your flashbacks. It's my turn now. But it's also like I'm sitting there. It's like 2 minutes of this stuff. So like, I'm ready to move on.
I will say that the funniest part of the Goody's flashback though is when he puts the wig on. And I swear, when I saw that with the lipstick, I was like, why does Goody low key look like the female gremlin from Gremlins 2? I was like, oh my gosh. Then he starts doing the kiss towards the screen. Like at the end of the movie, like, I was like, oh, flashbacks to Gremlins 2, Goody, no!
So there's a bit earlier, to jump back to the beginning of the episode, where Keiichiro is in the police station. Everyone's trying to figure out, like how, what memories did he lose or so. And then there's Commander Hilltop, who's like going like, do you remember me? Do you remember? How do you remember me?
Oh my gosh.
And Keiichiro was like, yes, I do.
It's perfect.
And
it's so
what
perfect.
Does he think? Who does he think Commander Hilltop?
He thinks he's Eddie Murphy
from the Beverly Hills Cop series. From the Beverly Hills Cop series.
Yeah, and it looks exactly. He looks exactly the same.
You know what kind of kills me about it is that he does a really good Eddie laugh.
He does. He does. Like, I low-key wish they had gotten like a little bit more budget. They could have played the theme music too.
I like.
I'm gonna do that fan edit, dude.
Oh, that would be so sick. That would be so sick.
I like how excited Keiichiro was too when he was thinking, he's like, oh my god, it's a celebrity. Yeah. It's a celebrity from that one movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was perfect.
To quote Troy from Community, I could think of one thing they have in common, but but no, it's a very funny moment, and seeing Hilltop's reaction, that going, no, that's not.
But he looked exactly like it looked perfect. It was like the perfect cosplay for Eddie Murphy from Beverly Hills Cop. So this is also this is the same scene where Noel notices that there's a lot of missing. There's a lot of missing pictures from the thing. So I think, this is probably one of my favorite scenes just because how excited Keiichiro was of seeing Hilltop, thinking he was Eddie Murphy from Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah. But that was one of my favorite things.
Another little bit I like is when Tsukasa and Sakuya were trying to find some photos themselves.
Yeah.
And it's the moment where, the one is the key is Tsukasa saying like, oh, it's the moment he caught me snuggling with my
Yeah. Oh, I missed that part.
And like, she's like, huh. Well, I guess I'm gonna rip this up now. It's like, no, we can't. It's like that was her chance.
She has the control to erase. You could, if you rip it up, you can erase memories. So that was funny.
I love that so much. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like she holds herself in such a high regard, and so she needs like the fact that we know that she needs that like stuffed animal kind of release. The fact that she's
it goes back to my favorite episode of the show.
The scavenger hunt
where
episode?
she wanted the ugliest one.
Yeah,
which is funny. But you know what? When this started me thinking about though. So I think Kevin just said this in our comments. Kevin said a while back. He was like, or somebody else may have said this. They said the Lupinrangers have a clear goal. They have a clear like mission, thing that they're working towards. The Power Rangers really don't, except for Power Ranger Red, because Power Ranger Red wants to be like the ultimate police officer. His goal is to protect, to serve, to be the hero, to do these different things. Because he just wants to protect people. And now when we saw this, I was kind of like, this just kind of made me realize for Lupin Green and Power Ranger Green and Power Ranger Pink, they need better goals. I think honestly, if they had better goals or something like motivating and whatnot, I think it just make this series a lot easier for me.
Green has a goal. He has the goal to get Umika to love him.
Can we give him something else besides that?
Maybe live up to the Pot Ranger
once in a while,
legacy, because he's looked at as the goof, and he doesn't really fit in out of those two. They're very like career driven, and they're they're police. They're police.
Yeah.
But he is kind of like aloof. He's totally aloof. Yeah. And like I think maybe his main goal is to maybe be taken seriously. I mean, we've had episodes like that.
That's true.
We've had episodes like that where he wants a little respect for himself, but maybe this pursuit of that would be a good episode.
Exactly. If that was his clear goal, to start to be like seen more seriously, to be more respected or whatnot, it would make the show as a whole like a lot. It would make it better and like more improved. And the thing about this was, as I think about this, like as I was watching this episode today, and again the series kind of came like more clearer to me.
Yeah.
It's similar to like I wonder if this is how people felt when they were watching like Turbo.
Really?
Or they were watching like what's the name of the Japanese Car Ranger?
Car Ranger.
It's like the one with the eyes and everything like that. What RPM was based upon.
Go Under.
Go Under. So, because I remember Go Under may not be that much a popular series. So, it just made me wonder, this is how people felt when they watch those type of shows. But again, as we talked about before, Sentai kind of goes in waves. You have the more serious season, and you have the more jokey season. So, it kind of like goes back and forth.
Which, in a weird way, I guess you can argue that that's where the Lupinrangers and the Patrangers are in one season splitting that's the tone.
Yeah.
The Patrangers, I like them quite fine, but I also get that, and I kind of understand where you guys feel like they're a little bit more comedy. That's the thing. Maybe that's the thing. They're trying out that one half of the team kind of represents a little bit more lighter comedy. Half the other team gets the kind of more dramatic stuff,
which is totally cool with me. I guess for me, I just like a little bit more balance because again, another thing is I was watching this episode, I was thinking about anime because again, as you guys know, I'm a huge anime fan. I like watching different series, and I was really rewatching the Dragon Ball Z Super finale, the Dragon Ball Super finale, where Goku and Frieza are like kind of going at it. But the cool thing about that series was that is like Goku had all these different rivals within that tournament. And at different times, his rivals got more powerful than him. Sometimes he beat his rivals, sometimes rivals beat him. He was rivaled with Vegeta, he was rivaled with Frieza, he was rivaled with the new female Super Saiyan, female Super Saiyan Broly. But they found a balance to it. And even though Goku prevailed at the end, there's this balance of like sometimes his rivals had advantage on him. That's kind of the problem here is that there's not a real time where I feel like the Patrangers have an advantage on the Lupinrangers. Like, I know they're pleased, but I never feel like every time I'm looking like, the Lupinrangers are going to win. Well, I mean, they're better fighters for some unknown reason. They're better trained for some unknown reason. Like, I know they're very motivated, but that's kind of thing, though. If there was a little bit more balance to it, where sometimes the Power Rangers had an advantage. Like, for example, remember we saw earlier on how Lupinranger beat the Power Ranger Red when they were fighting over a jewel or something like that? And it was like, all right, cool. 2 episodes later, though, Power Ranger Red needs to win. They kind of get like his juice back, his energy back. It's kind of like wrestling booking. It's like, okay, this week you get this, next week go back and forth. Oh, we got another super chat!
Anthony Davis, 2 eyebrow Anthony Davis says, Tusaka wants to stop
the Gangler for Grandpa. Oh, I remember that. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Thank you,
okay, that's a mission. That's
but they don't
definitely
go back to it, though.
No.
Because Anthony Davis, you're totally right. But it's like...
They'll swing back around.
Well, with the Lupinrangers, we go back to that every single episode. With the Power Rangers, like, this is my reason for living. Next episode, now we change the girls. Wait, what?
They definitely, and also with Noel in the mix now, there's a lot of him showing off in a lot of episodes. So now he splits the attention between both teams. So again, and I'm probably a little bit alone on the Noel criticism. I feel like a lot of people seem to love him. Like, I feel like I'm kind of getting a little tired of him.
And that's sad to say because it's still pretty early on for his character.
It is, but it doesn't. Part of me is like kind of
you gotta be careful. Layla's gonna get mad at you.
I know.
That's Layla's Bay. That's Layla's Bay right there.
That was legitimately me kind of quietly subtweeting to Layla. I know you like.
Are you throwing shade at Layla?
No, I know. And I know I know you like him. And I just want to point out, I've got to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the character right now. That's just a personal opinion on that.
You know, here's the thing. Henshin Bros, I'm not leaving you on the island alone. Here's the thing. When it comes to Noel, I liked Noel's appearance. I liked his juice. But the thing about it is, though, is that, again, I do agree with you. I wish he kind of would develop him more. I've kind of said it several times. He needs to have a reason for shipping back and forth from thief to cop. There should be some advantage, disadvantage to each one. He even said this episode, he's like, I have the powers of both. I have the advantages of both. What are the advantages?
Read Layla's current.
Layla! Layla!
I love Noel,
look at you being honest. Good job, Layla. Look at you being honest. Holding your man accountable. Keep him accountable. That's right. Don't let him keep slipping.
What? We got another person, Nathan, saying, I'm getting a little tired of Noel, too.
You're not.
You're not an island. We got you.
It's not a lone island.
This is a safe space. Yes. This is a safe space.
The way I see it, though, I don't see Noel as, like, on 2 teams. I just strictly see him as a Lupinranger.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just a Lupinranger. Like, he's not really doing anything for the Patrangers except, like, maybe standing there.
And that's kind of what...
This is true.
And that's one of my hopes is they're going to address that, because they've been hinting at that in every couple episodes, where it's like, they're like Keiichiro and Tsukasa are kind of catching on to that.
Yeah,
they're kind of giving him that glowing, like that.
But they're letting him. They're letting him go.
Like was that, like for example, that episode with the auction.
And
the Power Rangers were barely in. It said the code clean up his mess at the end, like arresting people. And then that's when Power Ranger Red was like, yeah, he's just using us to clean up his messes.
Yeah.
And so the thing about this was that, like, again, I wish we had just a little bit more of that, because jokes are cool. Like, again, from the Gokaigers, we talked about this before. One of my favorite Rangers is again Gokai Green. From what's the name of the last one we did with Space with the 10 Rangers?
Q-Ranger.
Q-Ranger. Q-Ranger, one of my favorite Rangers is Orange Ranger, the chef, which I was like, dude's hilarious. I love him. He's so cool.
Yellow Ranger.
Yeah, Yellow Ranger, sorry. And so the thing about this was that, like, again, I love comedy characters. They add so much more richness to it.
Yeah.
But again, I love balance, though. I just love a little bit more balance.
I also love balance in Q-Ranger.
Yeah, I do too.
He's the gold guy.
Well done. You see what he did there? Instead of he's like,
So going back to the episode, he gained his memory back by focusing on the Lupinrangers.
Yeah. And that's actually was a really cool. I liked how that scene came out, where he's just looking, and then like the music plays, the dramatic music plays, and then all the photos enter back.
Like flying back.
Okay, but I'm sorry. I'm just put a question out there.
Sure.
It was cool that the memories flying back in. I was having you guys' memories back. I was like, this is developing. Here's one question though.
Okay.
Why?
Why what?
Why would the Lupinrangers get him his memory back? Like, because again, it's like sometimes, like for example, if this was like another like something else, it'd be like, oh, my friendship reminded me of my friends, gets my memories back. Reminded me of a loved one, gets my memory back. Reminded me of my purpose, my calling, gets me my memories back.
His purpose, his calling to, control order, or to have order in their world.
I think for me, it's the reason. Here, now I can see why, but to go back to your guys' point about the choice of clips.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Here's the thing.
That's where it throws it off.
That's where it throws it off, because I feel like I see why, because I've seen the rest of the show. So I go like, I'm seeing the moment where Kairi remembers when Keiichiro sacrificed himself with that big old tire.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the episode. I'm seeing them noticing the other times where Keiichiro's helped out or went out. Even like the one you brought up, him being poisoned.
Yeah.
So those are the clips I run in my brain, not the clips they showed, and that's why it doesn't work.
And I agree with you. And for Jezzer, go ahead. Sorry.
That's why I think that they did choose the wrong clips for the clips.
I agree.
I think what do you think the reason is they chose these specific clips for this episode?
There's a big part of me that wants to be cynical about it and say, buy the toys, buy the toys, buy the toys.
Yeah. Buy the toys, buy the toys, buy the toys.
Which is true because.
By the way, we now have hashtag toys. We should get hashtag toys. We should get Henshin Bro action figures. With Henshin action.
That action does this.
Exactly.
Comes with Megazord playset.
Nagami, get started to make those, please.
Now that you say that, though, yes, because they had one of the clips was the Battle with Zamigo where he had the boomerang. It was the toys.
Was
the toys. It was a 20-minute commercial for the new toys.
Listen, let's not lie.
Are the toys not selling?
That's what this show is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. But we gotta be fair about that, though, because here's the thing. Build is the exact same way.
Oh yeah.
But Build does a better job. Every Sentai series is about selling toys. But it's about just finding that balance.
All of these shows are about selling toys. Yeah. Let's not lie. It's their job to make sure that it's a good story while selling said toy.
Exactly.
And, some shows they don't nail it in terms of selling the toy and trying to tell a good story.
Exactly,
So, no, this is one of those episodes where it's like, it seems like they wanted to hit the toy stuff more, and we are sitting going like, yeah, but how about the story part?
Yeah. But it's not just Japan, too. I mean, even here in America, they make shows strictly to sell toys.
Yeah. Exactly. We grew up in an era where that was the number one reason.
That is. It still is for a lot of stuff.
For all this stuff back here.
But I think the thing is, as we talk about this, what I've come to realize is, if I had to compare the show, I'm going to start looking, when we watch the show, I'm going to start looking at the way I look at Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go.
Okay.
Because Teen Titans, I love the theme song, love the darker nature of it, like the storytelling, the character development, everything like that. But Teen Titans Go still has a special place in my heart because it is hilarious. The movie was so funny, and it's just fun to watch. And so what I'm starting to realize is that, you know what, I can't hold Teen Titans Go to the same standard I hold Teen Titans because they're two different shows, two different tones. So this one, now this is what I'm looking at for. Now every week I'm watching for the jokes.
That's it?
If a storyline pops up, I'm like, cool.
Okay,
but right now at this point, like, this is the tone I have to kind of like start judging the show by.
We also got another. Oh, and Blackwing brings up we have another Go Busters piece in the Lupin collection. That's the camera. So it did. I'm not gonna lie. It did take me 2 seconds to go. What's that? And I'm a moron apparently because I'm currently watching Go Busters.
Oh, you're watching it right now?
I am watching.
You're rewatching or watching for the first time?
I've never seen it until recently. So
really?
I'm watching it right now.
What is it in Go Busters?
It's their camera / gun, which is super cool.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask you this: how are you liking Go Busters so far?
I'm really liking Go Busters.
What episode are you on?
I'm on episode 29.
Can you see a flawless adaptation to?
I've said this even before. I've only seen a couple of like the sidestep into this. I've only seen the first couple episodes before I decided to dive into it. And this year because of guess what? It's a Power Ranger show now. So I've said this even with the first couple episodes I've seen was that it's a real shame to skip this one because I have a feeling this was intended to be.
Yeah.
This is one
it's morphin time.
This is the one where I felt like they were intentionally planning like this will be the one you guys will adapt.
Exactly, which was so weird why they didn't adapt it. Yeah. I totally agree with you, seriously, because again, as we were rewatching Go Keiichiro last weekend for that show 2 weeks ago, I rewatched the first entrance of Go Busters, which was totally badass. It was totally amazing. And so the thing about this was that when I started watching Go Busters, it was airing, and I would go back and watch episodes here and there, and all in all, I was like, Go Busters is a really good show. I agree with you. It should have been adapted right away.
Yeah.
Like you said, for the it's morphing time for the Zords, the whole robot connection. I'm like, why did they skip that? Why did they wait so long?
Yeah, and it's, you know, for one reason or another, they decided to do it. But it is, as I'm rewatching it now, part of me is doing the game of, how would you use the footage? Why would you use it? And
maybe that is also why they're adapting it now, since we're in a transitional period between Saban and Hasbro. They're spoon feeding this season already to you, so there's not too much, like, as far as the development team, there's not too much that they'd have to change as far as like the original source material.
And there's a lot in the original source material that is easily adaptable.
Yeah,
here, like I do. Now I'm doing this game where I'm like, is there Japanese language written in the background that would ruin the edit? And a lot of it is not a problem. And and
low-key, if they left the Japanese in there, that'd be kind of cool. Like, somebody who collects shoes, there are a lot of times they're like Tokyo editions of shoes. They have like Japanese writing on there, and that just makes it worth more money because people, oh, that's so cool.
Sure.
So if they left some Japanese stuff in there, it actually looked.
They had that whole.
Yeah.
But it's go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna, but you know what'd be cool because go back to a show that you were just on a little while ago, Ranger Wrap Up. You guys were talking about like, would it be like really cool if they do the Go Buster, Go Keiichiro crossover? It'd be so bad if they did that. But here's what I'm thinking though. So they do the crossover, but instead of it being the Rangers from Megaforce, there's actually Japanese pirates. From like space and everything like that. That would be sick. That would be sick. If they had the same powers, but I'd be so on board for that.
You know I want that.
I want it so bad.
From this episode, from this, like, wrapping up this episode, what were some, like, things that brought it, like, it made you feel like, oh, this is not such a bad episode?
I like the ending scene.
The ending scene. I am with you with that on the ending scene.
Sure. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's a season of ending scenes where there's a final scene on the rooftop having a barbecue.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's a nice way to wrap it up.
It's a little narcissistic of Noel to throw his own party for himself.
That's why I'm a little tired of him.
Yeah. Like, he threw this whole huge party. There is no, like, you can spend as much money as you want.
Kyrie literally says, who throws their own welcoming party?
Yeah, exactly. But
you have thoughts. Go.
Go ahead. You didn't like the ending scene?
Yeah, all right.
No.
You didn't like the ending scene?
Okay, here's the reason why. So so I'll ask you your first question.
Yeah.
One of the scenes that I did, like, is like the flashback scenes, like some of the fight scenes and everything like that. I totally forgot about that cool boomerang scissor thing.
Yeah.
And so watching, like, it's like, oh wow, that is a useful weapon. I was like, it's some other fight scenes or whatever. I did enjoy watching. But the reason why I didn't like the ending scene, because at the same time I was like, okay, Noel's throwing a party for himself. He's invited the cops. He's invited the restaurant staff.
Yeah.
I mean, the cops had to be like, wait, but you also work with the Lupinrangers. Why aren't they here? 3 of them. I'm just like, detective work.
Oh yeah.
Detective work. Like, it's a little on the nose. And
why would they invite the Lupin? Why would Noel invite the? No.
Yeah.
I don't buy that. No. Sorry, dude. I'm gonna get you on that.
No, here's the thing.
Why would he invite? That doesn't make any sense.
Who else does he know? Who else does he know?
He clearly hangs out with those staff. He knows the staff and them will get along.
And they're already suspecting the staff. 2 of the 3 are suspecting the staff. The green one's late to the game.
We'll chop it up to the Clark Kent Superman.
So here's the thing. I'm not saying. Here's the thing.
I'm with you on that.
But here's the reason. I'm not saying that they should like that. They should be like, oh, he's going to invite the Lupins. I agree with you. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, though, what I am saying is, why would the thief show up? They're like, dude, we can't be showing up with you.
Yeah.
Like, this is just too much on the nose. Like, why would we all need to show up to cater this?
I mean,
we can come and drop food off, but you don't need us to be there. And it's like, it gets weird.
Even in their masquerade mode, it's not hard to tell that it's them. Like, I don't know.
Well, except they kind of drew that joke in. They kind of drew that joke in, like, the auction episode where the masks have some sort of special extra thing
like,
to cover up.
This mask is not the same as our mask, where it, like, puts like this.
Which is my way of going, oh, that's how it explains it. All right, that's cute. For me, I like it. You know, it doesn't bother me.
The look at the end. What was the look at the end between the 2 Red Rangers?
It's that continuation for me of those 2 slowly gaining their respect for each other.
Because in a way,
it makes sense for
Kairi.
Yeah. But not so much for Keiichiro.
It works for me. I think that for me, Keiichiro is.
Well, actually.
The reason why it works for me with Keiichiro is that Keiichiro to him is that Kairi and his staff are just these people that they've grown to become really close with and fond with. For him, he's like, so for Kairi, when he looks at Keiichiro, he's like, yeah, we did it for you. Like, I lied to Noel saying we did it to get the Lupin collection, but we did do it for you.
Yeah.
And Keiichiro's looking at Kairi going like, hey, this is nice, right? That's the look.
No, that's the look.
But you know what I mean better?
It kind of looks loving. It's like a little.
It's a warm fish.
You don't look at me like that when we're having a good time on the show. Just saying.
But you know, I got it. Here's the thing. So when I watched the scene, I agree with you. It kind of reminded me of Kyrie. Again, it goes back to the hospital scene. It always goes to my mind. Like how they did this like begrudging respect for each other and everything like that. However, I do agree with Jezzer. Being returned by Patranger Red is kind of weird. And honestly, the one that would have made sense is if he had looked at Patranger Pink. Because they have that shared background, which they don't bring up. Like,
that would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Especially I did enjoy that episode where she caught him in that little club or whatever.
I love that episode.
That was a good.
I love that scene because it's just borderline of it's supposed to be like a club, right?
Yeah. But I mean, all in all, this episode was okay. It was okay.
For a clip show, it's better than most.
Definitely better than most.
And it looks like with next week's episode, we're gonna get another red on red action.
Red on red.
And I'm hoping we start to get some nice build from this. So I'm hoping it goes well.
Nice build. Good segue.
Build. Nice build.
Oh yeah, because we have a show to talk about called Kamen Rider Build.
Right. I guess it's time to get into this finale episode of Kamen Rider Build.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I felt like one thing. I felt like this episode should have just been connected to the last episode and have that be the finale, like an hour-long episode. Because I felt like a lot of the stuff here was like fast-tracked.
I agree. I was surprised, like when I was getting ready to watch this because I haven't been here, so I was catching up and I was like, wait, the last episode was only a half hour. Yeah. So I agree with you. Like, it felt like the episode before this and this one should come out together.
Blackwing's asking to get the hot wings out.
Get out them hot wings.
Should we do it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. Oh, he's looking. He's ready.
Okay, so I'm getting out the wings. I'm getting out the wings. What happened? All right. Okay, so.
What's wrong? What's going on?
So again, this is so the dry rub is the Wingferno, and then the other one's honey barbecue. Honey barbecue is what you use to celebrate later.
Oh my god. It's just me. All right, here we go. So let's talk about.
Can you get one more, please?
Let's talk about the episode. Let's talk about the episode.
This is good. Now it's turned into an episode of hot stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, well, here's the thing. Stop. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We're Henshin Bros. And this was my very first Kamen Rider series I've ever watched all the way through. And I want to say I'm happy, gentlemen, that I was able to watch it through with you guys.
Thank you for like kind of helping us start at the shallow end, and then we're not in the deep end yet. We're still like dipping our toes in.
You guys are floating very well. I want to point that out.
Because I will say though, because as we were watching this series, I started like towards the end, I was like, you know what? If we were like on this show, we were Kamen Riders, I was like, okay, Justin's definitely Build because he has the knowledge, he knows everything, he knows the like history of everything like that. I was like, Jezzer's definitely Banjo because he's the passion, he's the heart of the show and everything like that, and I'm Grease. Because I'm just good like that.
Are you suggesting we cosplay as these three?
Who is he?
This is Bill.
Sento.
Oh, you're definitely Sento.
Yep, you're Banjo.
And you're Grease?
I'm Grease.
All right.
Yep, so here's the thing. In the spirit of our Henshin Bros, in the spirit of this awesome series, Jezzer, I'm not going to let you eat this alone.
I'll do it.
I lost the bet.
I lost the bet.
No, Jezzer, you're going to eat it. But I'm going to eat it with you.
Oh, Henshin Bros.
Let's do it.
Henshin Bros, you know?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay.
Doing it. Bring it. Bring it.
All right.
Oh, Jesus.
Bring it.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's get prepped. Oh, my God. All right. Oh, my God. I feel like we need gloves.
J-Boss, that's a correct reaction, J-Boss.
Oh, my gosh.
Crap.
Oh, crap indeed. So the dry rub is the spicy?
The dry rub is the spicy one.
I want to also, Blackwing says thanks. Oh, thanks for starting out with care. And now thank you.
Give him more. He took the milk!
This is actually kind of just to go a little bit of my own personal history with Build and being part of this crew. I did start off doing Kamen Rider Corner, which is then Henshin into Henshin Hangout for me.
What is this?
And
are you joining us?
The fact that I was here since episode 1 of Build. I am trying to be emotional, guys. Since I was here since episode 1 of Build to the end, it was really important for me to be here for the last episode of Kamen Rider Build.
Just to let you guys know, our milk is being kidnapped from us right now.
Yeah, I'm catching that right here in the corner.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So, guys,
is there a
gentlemen,
or something?
Yeah, your PETA.
Just don't touch
Okay, all right. Remember, do not touch your eyes. Do not touch your eyes.
Thank you for giving me this piece because there's I like doing this little trick.
So I'm very, very white, so spice and me doesn't work well together.
Is there more for Joe and Nagami
Let's
over
just
there?
hide.
We have one more. We have one more for Daniel.
Okay, there's one more for Nagami. Nagami, do you want one? Give him a wing.
Welcome, Nagami.
Okay.
All right.
So I took out, and he's drinking the milk. He's drinking the milk. So I took out the middle bone.
Which is the hottest?
So
Is
now,
that right there on the right?
The hottest.
To pay me back for that.
Okay, Nagami.
yeah, I'll pay you.
Brett.
I don't need no bread.
Nagami, you gangster. You gangster. Nagami, that's the wrong one. That's the honey barbecue.
You know, Johnny.
he knows.
Johnny, I want to bring up the fact that since you brought the hot wings, it's appropriate that you want to be greasy.
Yeah. Why is that? Why is that? Oh, because he's gonna die.
Oh God! Wow.
Oh, you went to that direction.
Oh,
I was
I know.
talking about
I was just
how
finishing.
greasy this food
Joe,
is.
can we get the milk back just in case? No? Aw, dang it. All right, ready?
All right.
All right, 3.
Shut
Okay,
the
I
fuck
say
up.
before you get to let's all say all together. Are you ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Are you ready?
Damn right.
And Shannon. Oh my god.
Then got him.
$10. Whatever chat from Shin. Thank you.
It's not bad. Kind of spicy.
Very greasy.
Oh.
Let's get some hot again. Yeah, come on.
The
Man.
crunch is very nice.
Oh,
All right. Bite 2.
It's actually a very good wing.
I see the audience is super unimpressed with it.
I'm gonna start sweating here.
Now wait. You gonna sign a thing for that?
So this is the napkin? Is that what this is?
That's what happened.
All right. Well, that was not. It's a little spicy. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I've had way spicier things in my life.
Well, thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you, man.
Wasn't bad, but back into the it's kind of spicy. Okay, now I got water right here. I'm back into the episode. Blackwing goes. Jezzer just ate the entire meat off the chicken. Where's Johnny going?
Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
Woo! So let's talk about some Henshin Hangout.
Johnny's like running around the comic book store.
Got my milk. Got my milk. Oh, thank God.
So Blackwing, to answer your question, look up like special ways to eat chicken wings. There's a way you could just take the meat all off.
Now, I want to point out, as
Jezzer.
I'm good.
as much as I look kind of calm, my mouth is on fire. So
You're red,
I am red. That means I'm
red.
hot. That means it is hot.
and your hair kind of like got messed up a little bit, like Sento's.
Like Sento, that's appropriate.
I'm good. I'm good now.
So going into the episode, did you guys enjoy this episode?
Yeah.
It was. I felt it was a little lackluster for a finale, and I was very sad at the very end, because it wasn't the ending that I wanted.
Really?
But going into it, I like the fact that he goes right back into the ring. Are you alright? I thought you liked spicy.
No, you know I hate spicy.
Who said they like spicy? It wasn't him.
That's Nagami. Nagami likes spicy.
Nagami likes spicy. We should get him some spicy ramen. I like spicy. But I like the whole scene where they all go back in.
And I'm lactose intolerant. This is
He
terrible
doesn't
for
care.
me.
You're lactose intolerant? We just got some soy milk.
No.
I like the episode or the scene where the 5. I don't know if
How did you and me lose this?
Henshin Bros.
Unity, definitely Unity. Where especially going back into this, where the ghost of the team says you need to keep fighting, you need to win this at all costs. And I like the fact that Banjo was controlling Evolt to a certain point.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a one-on-one fight. Definitely, it was definitely a 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Because Banjo is controlling from the inside.
He's absorbed. Yeah, no. It is actually. This is the thing I like the last episode quite a bit, but I definitely say it's they went in a direction I wasn't expecting it to take it. In terms of the final fight with Evolt.
Yes.
It
was quick.
It was a bit quick.
It was quick.
I think for me, but the thing I loved most about it is like the show started with Sento and Banjo.
Yes, it did.
And I love.
Is it the first episode? That
Banjo's been there since episode 1.
Yes.
So I love that their friendship is the core of the show.
It is. And Can I be a little bit of a jerk real quick?
Go ahead.
Can I jump back a couple episodes?
What?
Can I talk about Grease's death?
Oh, okay. Oh, because you weren't here to discuss it with us.
cool?
No, please.
All right, go for it.
All right, so first off, I just want to say that Grease death. Oh my gosh, just had me tears. Because here's the thing. So first off, he fights his old comrades and everything like that. Has to defeat them, and then Mitan's there cheering him on. And all the lines he's saying is like, I get to fight in front of my girl today. I've got to make sure I go all those. I was like, oh my gosh, it's like so emotional, everything like that. But then when he wins, because we've seen so many people die from this, where they kind of like just like glitter and glow away, everything like that. I just love the scene where he dies. But the thing about it is though, my man never goes down on his knees. He stands on his feet the whole time. Which I was like, okay, that's legit right there. That's a man's man right there. That's an adult right there. I was like, okay. So it kind of blew me away with that. And then Mitan's like, he's like still Grease. He's like, I'll never call you by your name. Because if I do, it will feel like you're gone. Yeah. And then when he just like kind of fades and goes away, she goes on to her knees, and that's when she finally says, Kazumi. I'm just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So I gotta say, no, it did. So that Grease death, like, oh my gosh, again, my favorite character. But at the same time, like, I was sad. But at the same time, I was like, homie went out on his own terms. He went out strong. It was one of those sad deaths.
He made a choice.
Exactly,
he definitely made a choice.
It did. And he went out of his way, and the way he stood up there, like he was like, because again, with this being a war show and everything like that, he was the truest definition of a soldier fighting for what was right, and he never like compromised. It was kind of awesome.
Agreed.
I did. The fact that she stayed with him the whole time and she didn't try to stop him from using that driver.
So, can we get one time to Grease?
No, hold up.
Grease
I gotta fill
with
this
milk.
again.
Grease with milk. All right, cool.
Yeah.
But in this episode, I liked
to Grease.
I liked how every level of Evolt he was breaking down. Sento was breaking down too.
Yeah.
He started off as top tier, like Rabbit, then he went to Tank, and then he went to
Sparkling mode.
The sparkling mode, and then to final like the original Rabbit Tank.
Yeah.
How'd you guys feel about that?
I love it. I'm always I was very hesitant because it's been so long
since you've seen Rabbit Tank.
Classic Rabbit Tank.
I mean, we saw his dad as Rabbit Tank.
Yeah, which was cool.
But that's not him.
No.
And I'm glad to see in the final episode that he finishes the fight as Rabbit Tank.
I agree.
Oh no, he doesn't finish the fight. He does. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah, he does. It's Rabbit Tank.
I know very briefly. I know what you're gonna talk about. But yeah. But
I gotta say, and I was kind of awesome because here's the thing, like as we were watching the series, like one of my favorite modes, and still my favorite modes today, is Sparkling Rabbit Tank.
Rabbit Tank,
which looks like a Pepsi can and everything like that. So again, it's like I love that mode. And so when he's fighting, he's downgrading. I'm just like, are they gonna do it? Are they going to bring it in? And we're just like, yes, we get my Rabbit Tank. And then the bubbles are popping up. He puts it that word. I was like, yes. And then for the end with Rabbit Tank, I was just like, this is awesome. This is the way to go out. And I love how it was just like one kick. And it was like, he's kicking him all the way down to earth and everything like that. Was so amazing.
There's a lot of callback to the first episode.
It is.
And it's been a while since having Sento shake the bottles and then the equations start flying around him. I was really happy to see those again. It was really cool to have the big final rider kick. To see again the mathematical equation going in while it's like they took they haven't used this stuff for a while, so I was really happy to see that. But at the same time, like I said, like the heart of the show is Banjo and Sento's relationship. So it is kind of touching that the best match in this final fight.
Was it best or perfect match?
Perfect match.
In this final fight is
Rabbit Dragon.
So here's the thing. Everybody's in the comments talking about this. Everyone's seen this episode. Is it cool if we talk about this out of order?
Go for it.
So here's the thing. I just got to say, so here's the thing. So, Sento wins and everything like that. The Earth fused together. Everything's looking great. But the thing was, like, no one remembers him. Yeah. But again, he saved the Earth and everything like that. And it was like he's alone. And at first, I was like a little bit bummed. I was like, well, you still saved the world, though. And everybody has a happy life. But I got to be real.
Not everybody.
Okay, except okay, that one person,
Not everybody.
But the one thing, like, I gotta admit that kind of like made me like tear up for a minute, because again, it's like I'm a writer, I have emotions, we have to go through these things. So the one thing that kind of made me like tear up for a moment was the moment when he went to Banjo and Banjo didn't remember him. Yeah. And then Banjo like represents like, oh, you're a fan, and shakes his hand, and it's like, and he's like, I'm just happy you're alive, and starts walking away. I'm just like, oh my god,
that hurt.
Oh my gosh, it was. I was like, your best friend. Like you would think like, oh, shake hands, like, oh, Sento, but it's like no, and it's like, dude, nobody remembers him. He's all alone in this world, and his best friend isn't there.
That's what I didn't like about this ending, is that nobody remembered each other. I kind of wish that it would have been nice if the core team remembered the events of what had happened, but they're in this world, but nobody.
I loved that they didn't.
You love that they didn't?
I do too, for a reason.
Really?
Same. It's for me, first off, it doesn't take away the deaths that happened. So that means that Kazuman's death mattered, Gentoku's death mattered. I love the fact that they live a happier life. They're alive. They're well. But it keeps the tragedy of their sacrifice that they don't remember the other world.
Exactly.
And the fact is, like, being a Kamen Rider is not for reward, it's for doing the right thing for me, and so that's always been the heart of the franchise, the heart of the character. And yeah, some shows, like, yeah, they'll give him a happy ending and everything is great. I love that there's a bit of tragedy and sadness to Sento's, you know, new situation, that at the end of the day, it's just him, and then we get a little relief that he will at least have company.
Yes.
Yeah, and I agree with Jessica. So for me, it was the happiest, saddest ending possible.
Yeah.
Because from a writing standing point, you were able to maintain every single thing that you did. All those emotions of losing Grease, of losing Crocodile, like losing all these people at Banjo that put their lives on the line this whole season, still stays with us. But at the same time, though, we get to relieve that some version of them lives on, and so it was the happiest, saddest ending. So that's like one reason why I loved it, because I was like it still kind of like pans out and everything like that.
Yeah, actually, I remember you even brought that up as a concern when the second Earth concept was started being brought up, and I even threw up the idea that's probably a way to get everyone alive again.
Exactly.
And our suspicion, my suspicion was correct. Everyone is alive.
Oh yeah, that was both our suspicions. Like that's probably what's going to happen. But it worked out. But the way they did it still worked very well.
And the fact is, you still got the tragedy that you wanted out of everyone's death, and then it's not without, you know, like at the very least, it's like,
alternate universe type thing.
yeah,
Exactly,
and at least you know, hey, Kazuman's with his boys,
Yeah.
you know, and like,
and he sees Mitan, and he falls in love again, and it's still comical.
Yeah.
And then again,
well, more importantly, Misora is back with her father.
Yes.
yeah.
And they have the relationship that is
They
not.
what we've always wanted for them.
Yeah,
to have.
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
And then only that, the Crocodile was with his father again,
Yep.
and his father, he didn't betray him. He's
And
working in government to improve the
Sawa.
country. It's still
Not
a
doing
reporter.
shit.
Why?
It's a reporter who's
still not
talking
doing
to
nothing.
Kentucky.
Is this as useful as producer Josh? Not really. So
He got the finger.
Get on the finger.
One thing though,
Davis PG.
like if I may cut you off, there was a little thing
Hey,
between
sorry.
there was a little thing between Sento and Mitan.
Yes.
Where,
That's
like-
just as sad to me as Banjo's
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
Where she's like, "You look familiar to me."
Yeah.
So is
Oh,
that
yeah.
are they because we know we kind of know that from the scene that he's holding the new what is it, changer or
the
new
watch face
the
for
watch
the change
face,
device.
yeah.
yeah,
So we know that he plays a part in like going to the next legacy,
and
Right.
handing off the
handing off. Is her kind of recognizing him like is that a way for her to be brought back in with the original two with Banjo and
I don't think so.
I
Go
think,
ahead. You give her.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think so because the reason why is because like she recognizes them, but she recognizes them from that rock group,
Right.
And so that was just kind of like the gag and everything like that. So she's kind of out of it.
Yeah.
And honestly, to give shout out to the fourth member of our like married band, everything like that, Paula. Because remember when Paula came in, Paula kind of educated us and explained to us how this is like a wartime show.
Yeah.
And so it brings all these war elements. And so if you think about it, like imagine you go to war, and again you're fighting for your country, fighting all these different things. You're going to be with people from all over the country, people from Buffalo, people from New York, people from all these different places. But when the war is over, everyone goes back home.
Yeah.
And even though you have these fond memories, you have these bonds and all these different things, you all go back to your own lives. And so at the end of the day, maybe you stay in touch with like one person, but at the end of the day, you all go back to your own things, and then the war becomes a memory. So part of the reason why I love this end of this episode, because here it was again, as Boomer could just say, it was kind of bittersweet.
Yeah.
Because this is how war is. At the end of war, you're happy you won, and you're really just thankful everyone survived.
Yeah.
But at the end, you're just really content that all your friends are with their families, like being happy again.
Yeah.
what would you guys have thought if
Shout out Paula.
if it was just Sento at the end?
I think it still would have worked for me the same way. I think at the end of the day, it's like I like that he will still proceed to be Kamen Rider. I think what's interesting is the question is now the real big question is, yeah, the face that that Katsuragi was given to become Sento is around and apparently a famous rock star,
Which is hilarious.
He's still around. Yeah, he's definitely still around.
But is Katsuragi around in this world as well? It doesn't seem like he is.
Katsuragi?
Yeah.
Yeah, the scientist, the devil
Yeah,
scientist.
It doesn't seem like
he
he-
disappears at the end.
Which is him agreeing that he kind of decided with him disappearing, him deciding to kill himself, basically. So for me, it's like the idea that like he gets to say, you know what, in this world, I am a Kamen Rider, and that is what I'll do. And I was all ready for him to get on his bike and ride into the sunset.
And we got the bike.
The bike came back.
We got the bike.
But he got at least a little.
For a Kamen Rider show, we barely saw that bike.
I know. We started. It started strong with that bike, and then they totally forgot it.
Super chat.
Super chat.
I'd like
Thank you,
another
Bad
Kamen
Ranger.
Rider versus Super Sentai movie.
Sure.
That'd be dope.
That'd be dope. No, it's been a while. Well, not that a while, but like that one will be good soon.
But I will say this, so going as we close up and everything like that,
Yeah.
my saddest moment again was like Banjo, they remember him, and then I'm just kind of bummed, I'm literally like tearing up, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
But again, at least he won. But then all of a sudden he's like, Sento, and I'm like, wait, did Banjo remember? And he turns like,
Yeah.
no, it's the Banjo from our world.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, it's like cool.
It's because he didn't exist. He didn't exist. Or that evolved version of him didn't exist.
Which is a really cool way of keeping him.
Yeah.
It's a really cool when he's
Oh,
like,
it's another super chat.
Hey!
Only have to pay 2 actors to return instead of a team.
Well, team, this is
Okay,
true.
that's-
This is true.
that's
This is
fair.
true.
And hey, these shows will, for future team up movies and reunion stuff, there's
Wait,
ways
wait,
to
wait,
get
wait.
everyone back.
Toku, what you talking about? We still need Grease, Toku. We always need our boy Grease.
But no, that was really great. And then like seeing Banjo, that's when the theme song comes back, and then you go.
They go back to the down zipper
Yeah,
thing.
from
Which was
episode
hilarious,
one.
exactly.
Yeah,
It was
and
so
then-
hilarious. He's like, how long has it been down for?
Oh,
Since we
so
started
we
fighting people.
That
Why didn't
whole-
you say anything? It was like, there was never really a time. I was like, this is why the show is so good. It's so funny, but so serious at the same time.
It's also really nice that the last scene of them is basically Sento has decided, I've written my adventures in 49
episodes.
And then you start hearing him narrate, and you realize like, oh, is that what the narration?
Exactly, this was the narration this whole time. I was like, oh, this is so amazing.
It
all comes full circle.
I want to bring something up that I brought up a lot when I was when it was the early days of me talking about the show when I was on Kamen Rider Corner.
Yeah.
And one of the things I kept bringing up on that show was, this is a show that I felt was definitely like strongly written. And it knew it was setting up things to finish things. And the fact of the matter is that like I got to the end of the show and I'm like, it had bumps, like, because it's gonna be that case. And then there are a couple places where I feel like, okay, I wasn't really into some of these things, but for 49 eps, I think it wraps up everything really well, and I feel like it's a very strong closure to a show that I overall really like.
I did
agree.
enjoy it. Like I think I've expressed so many times on this show how much I've enjoyed just the storytelling, just the character development. To be fair, towards the end they tried to jam pack a little too much into the series, but all in all, I think that the series was a sound one. Like I thought it was great. I thought that I enjoyed it.
Oh, Toku. You read this one.
Grease
Thank you for the
doesn't-
super chat,
Toku
Toku.
said Grease technically doesn't exist anymore. He was in the cafe. There's a way to bring him back.
And you know what, Toku? He always exists in here.
Where's my
In
heart?
here.
What would you say overall as a season? I know we haven't seen many Kamen Rider shows. As a show, how would you rate this?
Okay, so if I compare this like to other Sentais and everything, like just like the whole
show
like
in
Henshin
general,
fan, the
show in
whole like
general.
Kamen Rider family, dude, this show's like
I'll give
a
this
9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it 4.5 out of 5.
4.5
Yeah,
out of
same
5.
thing. Yeah.
I would say of the shows I've seen, in comparison to all the shows I have finished and watched, I haven't enjoyed a writer show this much in a long time.
Yeah.
Forza is my number one. It's my gateway show. It's the one that I will always refer to and always compare to. And I love Double. I really love Gaim, but this show for me is up there with those shows. And there's a bunch of other writer shows in the last couple of years that I'm okay with, I'm not a fan with, or I hate it.
Yeah.
This show, I can legitimately say, is one of my favorites of the last decade.
So
Yeah.
what would you rate
What
it?
you got out of 5?
Let's see, I will give it out of 60 bottles,
60 bucks.
57
That's a good score.
bottles.
That's a good score. That's a good
Is
score.
it
That's a good score.
the black ones or the gold ones?
Gold ones.
Gold ones,
Just, I
alright,
don't know.
cool.
Just throwing it out there. But okay.
It was awesome. It was an awesome ride.
I can't wait for the next series.
The ride's
too,
not
me too.
done. We got a new writer coming up.
I know.
right?
I know.
You know?
We ride again.
We will
We
ride.
ride again.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
'Cause
Especially if it's time travel. I love time travel.
Yeah.
And you know what the cool thing about it is, though? It kind of reminds of Go Keiichiro, so you get to see all these other previous Kamen Riders, everything like that.
Anniversary
So for us, we get to get filled in all the Kamen Rider history.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
No, and I will be able to try my best to help you too.
Yeah.
In
Thank you.
filling in the gaps as much as I can.
And that's
So,
what we have. That's what we have THS hashtaggers for.
Yeah.
You guys can fill us in on who this character is or the history of this Kamen Rider. So I mean, that's why we have this community so that we can collaborate with each other just to understand the next show, especially especially since it's an anniversary episode,
Exactly.
anniversary season.
And again, if you know anybody else out there who loves Sentai, who loves Kamen Rider, who loves all this great stuff, again, tell them to come watch the channel, come be part of our community. Let's all enjoy this ride together.
Yeah.
Because starting next week, we ride again with a new series.
Yeah, listen. We'll be back next week. And please, don't forget to hard smash that like button. It's the last time I got to do it.
Yeah.
That's the last time. I don't know what the monsters will be called next week.
Oh, we got a super chat.
What Kamen Rider should I start watching for Zio?
Oh, shoot.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a tricky thing to ask.
I think the one you keep saying. Forze.
You know what?
I started watching Forze, and Justin's right. It takes place in school. It's a really easy transition from Build to that one because it still keeps a lot of the same themes.
Okay.
And so, again, it's another one of those like linchpin series.
Yeah, I would say Forze would be really great. Fives is another popular. I haven't seen a lot of that one yet, so keep that in mind. But hey, also listen, whatever appeals to you.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's so many of these shows, and then with Zio celebrating 20 years of the Heisei era of the character, I say pick a show that feels like it's. Hey, that looks cool. The vampire guy, the wizard guy.
How about we do this?
The fruit guy.
For Bat Ranger in the chat, for you guys that are very strong Kamen Rider fans, start a little thread on THS Hashtaggers and help suggest some things to Bat Ranger. Bat Ranger, if you're not part of THS Hashtaggers, it's a Facebook group that we have where you can talk with the other people in the chat about things that you love about Power Rangers, about Kamen Rider, about Super Sentai. So just join it, and then one of you, luckily one of you guys is going to start a thread and help this guy out, help us out too.
Yeah.
Definitely help us out on like what Kamen Rider shows we should watch to prepare ourselves for Zio that comes out. Actually, probably tomorrow. It comes out tomorrow.
It comes out tomorrow. And hey, listen, we don't have to do quite a bit of homework yet.
Yeah.
The first two-parter is about Build.
Yeah.
So we will be seeing our boys real soon.
Yeah.
Yep, because we'll be right
It's
in
not
there.
over for them yet.
Exactly, so we're going to see them one more time.
And that's classic in Kamen Rider history. In the
Yes.
original show back in the 1970s, the show ended with like a final episode. They defeated the big bad, and then literally the following week, the first two Kamen Riders helped create the third Kamen Rider V3, and they have been doing it like this pretty much not consistently for the last the history of the character, except for that decade period in the 80s. So Build leads to Joe, and that's just tradition, and we're gonna see how we're just gonna keep this train going, this bike going. Even if the bike only is in there for 5 episodes.
Yeah. I think it may be 5. It may actually be 5
Let's
episodes.
count
Yes,
this
let's
for this
count.
show.
You guys, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at JohnnyP313 on Instagram, Twitter, and Gumroad, where my books are sold.
Yeah.
And you can find me next week at Rose City Comic Con. I'll be out in Portland, so I might not be here with my Henshin Bros next week.
Just
I will
like
be
Grease.
watching.
Just like Grease dies again.
Why do you hurt me, Jezzer? Why do you hurt me?
My lips still hurt from the pain that you have inflicted on me.
We got you milk. We did it with you.
Red. Yours are
Your
red
lips-
too.
yeah, but
We
I'm
did it
fine.
with you.
I'm feeling pretty good right now,
Yeah,
actually.
okay.
All right, what about you,
Yeah,
Jezzer?
Justin.
You can find
Here
me
we go.
on the.
Here we go.
Ramp it up. You can find me on Instagram at Justin Quiz, Twitter at Justin Keyson. I will be recording my last episode of Benview on Spielberg this week. So when that episode
tune
drops, don't forget to download it and tell us why you are mad at me and Emily for not finishing the show, for not doing more episodes of the show. The newest episode of Nothing New is out. My remake podcast is by Fahrenheit 451.
Ooh.
And
What else got? You got one more?
I got another podcast. We have to fit. It's called Morning Word. Keep a lookout on that. And then I feel like
You got one
I know I have a lot. I have
Comic?
so much.
Comic?
It's a webcomic that if you like Henshin Heroes, clearly you do because you're here. I co-write a comic book called Shining Yusha.
Shining Yusha!
Thank you. It's available for free on Tumblr, and I'm finally done.
Yeah.
Nice.
You can find
And
me on all
Black
social
Wing and
media.
Layla, I would give them another wing if we had one. Go ahead, Jezzer.
All social media at Jezzer. You guys,
Oh,
thank you for watching. Ooh.
Before we do the closing,
All right.
because we just finished Kamen Rider Build,
Okay.
can we give them one more Henshin Hangout for the road?
Yeah.
So everybody, thank you again for joining us. And make sure you tune in next week for another rendition of Henshin Hangout. Henshin Hangout.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back next week. At least me and Justin. Grease is dead.
Oh my God! That's it, Nagami, get the Dragon Balls!
Don't forget to subscribe to that hashtag.